Okay, our next topic is the rotenone. As you know, we are discussing about the plants as the sources of insecticides. So whatever the phytochemicals are there, we should know at least five examples of the phytochemical which act as a insecticides. Okay. In this category, we have first discussed the azadirachtin, this particular chemical compound from the Azadirachta indica, that is from the neem plant, which act as a insecticide. Okay. And second compound we are going to discuss here is the rotenone. Okay, this particular chemical compound is also showing the insecticidal properties, and that is why in detail we are going to study this particular topic from the UPSC mains examination point of view. All right. Now consider this is your syllabus. We are dealing with the paper number 1 and the chapter number 4, that is plant resource development, and we are here at the plants as the sources of the insecticides. Okay. So when we talk about the rotenone, you should know important things regarding this particular chemical compound. Okay. Now, this particular rotenone, you should remember that it is a natural chemical which is extracted from the plant, and hence it is called as the phytochemical. Okay. So, this particular rotenone chemical compound, first thing you should know about this chemical or the phytochemical or the insecticidal chemical is that it is coming from the plant which is called as the Deris elliptica. Okay. Consider this Deris elliptica, and as it is a botanical name, you should underline it. Now, from which part of the Deris elliptica this particular rotenine compound is extracted? The root portion of it is responsible for the production of the rotenone. Now, this rotenone is produced by the Deris elliptica. This particular plant belongs to the Fabaceae family. Okay, so if you are preparing for the UPSC mains, you know this botanical name and this part and this plant family is holding a much importance in the UPSC mains, because in the question itself, UPSC mentions that you have to give the botanical name plus plant part from which that particular chemical compound is coming and the plant family. So Deris elliptica is a plant from which the rotenone is extracted, and especially of its root parts, okay, which belongs to the Fabaceae family. Now, just like the other phytochemicals we have seen, this is also an secondary metabolite. Okay, it's not a primary metabolite; it's a secondary metabolite. Now, this particular secondary metabolite is of the class called as the flavonoids. Okay, carefully remember the name. It is called as the flavonoids. Okay, and to the flavonoid class of the secondary metabolite, this particular rotenone belongs. Now, under the subclass of the flavonoids, it particularly belongs to the isoflavonoids. Okay, carefully remember and write it down that the rotenone is the secondary metabolite, and to which class of the secondary metabolite it belongs? It belongs to the flavonoids, and these are flavonoids. The rotenone is particularly the isoflavonoid. Okay. Now consider the third point regarding this, which is the most important point, that its medicinal importance or the insecticidal importance. This particular rotenone chemical compound is a powerful insecticide. Okay, it can literally kill the insects when it comes in a contact with the rotenine. Okay, so it is a powerful insecticide, and how it works, because it interferes with the mitochondrial electron transfer system. Carefully remember that mitochondrial electron transport system is disturbed by the particular rotenone, and hence these insects got killed. Okay, so rotenone is very famous for being being showing its insecticidal properties, and as it interferes with the mitochondrial electron transport system, hence it is readily kills the insect. Now, rotenone is not only famous for its insecticidal properties, but it also shows the piscicidal properties as well. Okay, piscicidal literally means the one which can kill the fishes. Okay, so this particular rotenone chemical compound is also very famous for killing the fishes, right? And that is why it is largely used for the fishing purposes as well in the some part of the world. But specifically, you should remember, according to the WHO, this particular chemical compound rotenone for the humans, it is moderately hazardous. Okay, carefully remember that it is moderately hazardous for the human being. Okay, so whatever the fishing which is done with the help of chemical rotenone, it can be the moderately hazardous for the humans, and that is why it should be avoided. Okay, because there is a, although it is a moderately hazardous, but the high quantity of it can even cause the problems within the human systems as well. Okay, so this particular rotenone chemical compound, it's coming from the Deris elliptica. The root portion of it is a main part from which this rotenone is extracted, and it belongs to the Fabaceae family. It's a secondary metabolite, it's a flavonoid, and specifically it's a isoflavonoid. Okay, it is very famous. It's a very powerful insecticidal properties it has, because it can interfere with the mitochondrial electron transport system. At the same time, it also shows the pesquicidal properties as well, and that is why they were largely used in the fishing. Okay, and WHO is consider this particular chemical as a moderately hazardous from the human point of view. All right, so all this information will be very important from the UPSC mains examination point of view, and you should create a very short note regarding this particular short lecture, so that you will not miss any question relating with this topic in the UPSC mains examination. All right.